People, the Naruto and Sasuke pack hit different on Father's Day. Oh my god, people. Boruto Naruto Next Generations episode 204. This was something else, fam. This was hands down something else. The best looking fight, in my opinion, since episode 65, the Naruto and Sasuke versus Momoshiki fight. And boy, did it deliver. And it's crazy because it delivered, but it wasn't in the, way that you would normally expect. It wasn't that the good guys triumphed. In fact, it was the exact opposite. Naruto and Sasuke got packed out on Father's Day by Jigen, who reveals himself, which thankfully is not a spoiler anymore. I can actually refer to him by this name because he spoiled it himself at the end of the episode, towards the end of the episode. Isshiki, Otsutsuki, and oh my god, this episode, it was phenomenal to say the least. There's so many things we got to talk about, right? There's so many things we got to talk about, but I just got to say that this was wow. This was wow. I told you guys coming into 2021 that this would be the year of Boruto, that we would get some really epic stuff, that Boruto anime was going to take it to that next level, and this episode is a clear example of what manga readers of the Boruto manga have been screaming for a long time, of what we've been telling you guys, like, yo, just wait. It's been a while, but we here, baby. Naruto and Sasuke versus Jigen. Oh my god, like, we gotta talk about it, people, without further ado. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Yeah, I'm not even ready right now. I had to put on the Naruto headband to do this proper. Let's talk a little bit of that. No. Yeah, it's Boruto, we get it. But right now, we're gonna talk a little bit about that Naruto and Sasuke. Great man! Yo, they got packed out on Father's Day. What are we doing here, people? Let's talk.
No matter how you move, get it done. No matter how you move, get it done. No matter how you move, get it done. No matter how you move, get it done.
Okay, people, so this episode picks up from where the last one left off. Naruto and Sasuke versus the leader of Kara, Jigen. Again, later found out to be Isshiki Otsutsuki, but he basically teleported Naruto to this dimension. He was trying to leave him there, and at the last second, Sasuke traced Naruto's chakra there and gave a little bit of a swift kick at Jigen. But fam, my god, this travesty, this nightmare, this was just insane. For starters, Naruto and Sasuke used everything they had. That's one thing that there's no denying. There's no like, yo, they held back. First of all, they were teleported to this dimension where there was nothing there, so there's no saying, hey, they held back because they were in Konoha. They didn't want to destroy shit. No, there was no holding back. There was no reason to hold back. There wasn't no kids. There wasn't no family members. There was nothing. So Naruto and Sasuke, they didn't held back. Naruto used his QB chakra mode to the max. He started off with a barrage of clones that Jigen was just easily discerning. And yo, I'm gonna be all over the place with it. I'm sorry, but like the art and animation at times where like they were doing those 360 camera angles and shit. I'm like, Piro, since when? Why can't we get this more often? I get it, it's a weekly anime, but still, god damn it. Naruto, when he was doing the clones and Jigen's taking him down, I'm like, okay, so Naruto starts over with one of his specialties, fam. He's doing the shadow clones, and it's insane. It's insane because, just keeping it real, Jigen throughout the fight, every step of the way, he was 2 steps ahead of them. Every step of the way, he was whipping their ass. Like, there was one thing that happened to Jigen towards the end of the episode that we'll get to that I was like, okay, so, Naruto and Sasuke, they got their asses kicked, but at the very least, it's kind of like when Jiraiya fought Pain, and it was reminiscent a lot with the rod stabbing through them and shit, but it was kind of like when Jiraiya fought Pain that, he got his ass kicked and all that jazz, but at the end, he found one thing to be able to tell people, like, yo, this is what's going on. I feel like that was the same way towards the end of the episode or towards the end of the fight, where Naruto and Sasuke fought, Jigen, where we saw that there was a chink in his armor, but again, we'll get to that, because following that, the barrage of clones and Sasuke and him, there was just so many beautiful key visuals amongst the Sakuga, because like, yeah, the Sakuga shots, which it's usually par for the course with Sakuga, the fluid animation, so to speak, that it kind of looks a little bit like, the character designs aren't the greatest or whatever, but fam, when they're just running around and Jigen is dodging and they're teleporting and Sasuke's using the utmost of his abilities, his Rinnegan, his Sharingan, Naruto's using his clones and shit like that, the fact that Jigen took them out, it just shows that, oh wow, you know what I'm saying? What are we gonna do here? If the 2 legendary shinobi that stopped the 4th grade shinobi war, if they couldn't do it, what are we doing doing here? How are we gonna take care of this situation? Honestly, there was parts of this fight that legitimately, y'all know, in case you don't know, I'm a big fan of Madara. I'm a Madara fanboy to the fullest. And there was parts of this fight that reminded me of the Madara fight. The way Jigen was just outdoing them, packing them out. Like, it was, that was Madara vibes all day, every day. I was just like, holy shit, what are we doing here, fam? What are we doing here? And then even at a given point, like I said, they pulled out all the stops. Naruto went into like that big QB, you know, the Kurama mode with the actual physical looking beast, so to speak. And Sasuke went into his Susanoo form. And even Jigen like stared down that, and it was nothing to him. In fact, Jigen throughout most of the fight was kind of humored by it. He was like, oh, this is cute. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was just kicking ass. Like, the whole entire episode was the fight. Like, you know, it was straight up an action-packed episode, which you got to think, full 20 minutes of just straight up action, straight up Sakuga throughout it, straight up beautiful visuals where, you know, you get a shot of like Naruto and he's like, oh my god, like, yeah, there was no chance. There was no chance, which is crazy, and I love that. I love that we're in Boruto, Naruto Next Generations, where they're the fathers now, they're the leaders, they're the ones that, you know, they're the elders that we saw in Naruto, where like, you know, Asuma's the one behind them. Like, no, now they're taking that role and they're getting their asses kicked. That just changed the whole dynamic of everything and just showcased again that this was no joke. I'm loving how, you know, he got Kashin Koji because he sent one of his toads out to watch, and it actually jumped into the portal in time, and you see that the toad actually was watching the whole thing. I'm kind of like, well, Kashin Koji, what the hell is going on here? If you're seemingly the traitor and shit, why not jump out right now? Like, I guess, well, technically he couldn't because he just sent one of his toads, and maybe he doesn't have like teleportation type of powers or some shit like that, any type of jutsu to get over there. But I'm just saying, because like, you're watching the whole shit, why not just broadcast it for that matter? Yo, fam, be a satellite direct. But Naruto and Sasuke, as they continue to get their asses pounded by Jigen, because he's just absolutely slaughtering them, it gets to a point which, again, the rods, because they start to find out about his techniques. Like, Sasuke discerns, which again shows the difference between a rusty Naruto that's been sitting behind the desk for many, many years, or for a while now at the very least, and Sasuke that he discerns, okay, so it's not that he's actually making things appear and disappear, he's actually shrinking these rods. That's how he keeps stabbing us, and he could shrink and, you know, grow himself back to his normal size and stuff like that. So Sasuke immediately able to discern, and in fact, it was a given point towards the end of the episode where Jigen admitted, like, nah, the one that I gotta take care of ain't Naruto. I gotta take care of you, motherfucker. Like, you're the one that gotta go, because you're the one that's gonna give me trouble. For starters, you're the one that has that teleportation jutsu where you could come back and forth, and if I wanted to leave Naruto here, you could go back and forth and continue giving me a problem. So Jigen even says, which does this kind of confirm and put to rest the debate that we've had for a while now of who's stronger at this particular point, Naruto or Sasuke, when Jigen is saying, no, the problem is Sasuke Uchiha. I need to get rid of him first. Like, I'm just saying, did that just clarify who it is? I'm just saying, like, I get it. That was mainly him speaking on, you know, the fact that he could come and go between these dimensions and shit, but I don't know. He was more so worried about the dude that was discerning what he was doing, how he was doing it, how he was getting around, how he was whipping ass. I'm just saying. Because towards the end of the episode, it looked doom and gloom, and in beautiful visuals at that, because again, the key visuals at times was just magnificent. Like when they were pinned up, Naruto and Sasuke, by the rods, because they just couldn't hack it. They couldn't hack it. Jigen had them pinned up with the rods and shit, and Jigen basically got the W on them, got the drop on them, and as he's about to, you knew it was desperate, and you knew that they really took the L big time, where it was like, wait a minute, either we both die right here, especially Sasuke more so, or Sasuke, get your ass out of here, use your jutsu to get out of here, and at the very least, you give us a fighting chance, one of us will still be alive. That was some crazy shit. That was emotional towards the end. I wasn't teary-eyed or nothing like that, but the fact that Sasuke had to basically jump through a portal and get just to barely save his life, that was something else. That was something like, yo, we're in the next generation. This is very different parallel to the Momoshiki fight. If we're comparing them, because obviously, again, if this is in Otsutsuki and this is the first big battle Naruto and Sasuke have had together since that battle, the difference between the two is that Naruto and Sasuke, they you know, did Momoshiki in for the most part. No, actually, I take that back. Didn't they like kind of lose, and then Boruto had to come with the Rasengan? But for the most part, they were actually kicking some ass. They were doing something. Against Jigen, they didn't really do too much, aside from towards the end where we see that, which why I compared it to like the Jiraiya fight, that, oh, they did a crack on his stomach, and it seems as though that Jigen's body, you know, the body that is being inhabited, seemingly the vessel that he is, couldn't hack it, which that was crazy. He was crying with tears. Like, those tears were metaphoric for the fandom seeing our people, Naruto and Sasuke, getting their asses kicked. That was the metaphor from those tears, okay? But I feel like that was definitely the big draw from taking away from their fight was the fact that Naruto and Sasuke at the very least saw that, okay, so he's at his limit. Like, we actually, if they could have had a sensu bean, for example, hey Goku, where you at, fam? You got sensu beans for the villains, but you don't got for the good guys? What's going on? No. Shit, I'm even bringing Dragon Ball into this bitch right now. Fuck it. But if they could have gone a little bit longer, they might have actually been able to take him out. So they actually were doing damage. It just really wasn't apparent because Jigen dominated them throughout this fight to the point where, again, Sasuke has to throw himself looking kind of bitch-made, and Sakura's like, oh my god, you came back to me, honey. And with the wrapping up of the fight, Naruto is left behind, and Jigen basically uses this opportunity to seal Naruto away inside of a giant, it looks like a pot. Kind of reminds me, again, I don't know why I got Dragon Ball in the brain, but kind of reminds me when, what is it called, the evil containment wave, where they would put you inside of a rice cooker. That's kind of what that reminded me of, with Jigen locking Naruto inside of that. And, you know, Naruto, man, that's sad. Honestly, think about it, that's sad. Like, Naruto, from his dream, living his dream of, hey, I'm the Hokage and everything, to getting pinned up, rods through him like his sensei, that gotta be traumatizing, and then being locked away inside of a giant crock pot. I'm just like, whoa. And we got the reveal when Jigen is leaving. He's like, yo, this body, I need Kawaki's body. I need, you know, a better vessel. This vessel ain't shit. And he refers to this body as Jigen, and he says basically that his name is Isshiki Otsutsuki as he's teleporting away, confirming that he is that one-horned Otsutsuki that Sasuke had seen back in the base of, you know, whatever the heck that base was, whether that was the Kara base or that was the Otsutsuki base, whatever that was, he confirmed who he was. And fam, the emotional part though, probably even more so than some of the other stuff. I think for like long-time Naruto fans, yeah, we were gonna feel a certain way about seeing Naruto locked away and seeing them getting their asses kicked and seeing Sasuke having to make one desperate attempt of a dash to get out of there. But as far as like watching this show and being, you know, a fan of Boruto, Naruto Next Generations, when Kawaki, because throughout the episode, you know, they all looking and he's like, wait a minute, you know, his arm is basically, you know, linked to Naruto. So as long as he knows that this arm is activated and attached to his body because it's the chakra, everything is good, right? But when that arm falls as he's holding the portrait of Naruto, that hit, okay? That actually really was emotional, because this is a dude that is looking at him as a surrogate father, and then to see that, it confirmed, which very creative way at the same time to showcase that they lost, because you obviously physically can't see and they're in a different dimension. So it's not like you could be like, ah yes, chakra, this and this, so you gotta do something. And when that dropped, I was like, holy shit. I guess a few other things to mention throughout the episode is they were carrying Konohamaru's bitch ass up out of there. Medics were like, yo, get this one right here. What's his name? We don't fucking know. Just drag him out. And when Sarada came with the roses and dropped them because she was like, what the heck is going on? That was very impactful. Honestly, this episode, absolutely a monster of an episode. 11 out of 10 of an episode. Best episode of Boruto this year. One of the best episodes, if not the best episode of the franchise. At the very least, one of the best looking episodes. Naruto and Sasuke did their thing, but fam, to see them lose, again, that was very strategic. It felt like it was done in a fashion that wasn't just like, oh, cheap. It wasn't like, hey, they lost, that's it. It was like, no. They got creamed. They got bodied and left for dead, and Sasuke had to make one desperate dash. And the crazy thing about all of this is Isshiki really wasn't trying to do this. He's like, why you made me do this, fam? Why y'all made me do this? I want to do this. Like, what? Like, dude legitimately just wanted to get this boy and get up out of here, and they made him give a whole can of ass whooping. Honestly, Boruto episode 204, my favorite episode of the year. This might actually be best fight of 2021. When they do the anime awards at the end of this year, which we gotta do something here because we gotta honor this shit. This better be in the category for best fights. Like, as far as ongoing anime, there's nothing that, in my opinion, would even match this, but let alone, like, just in general as a fight, man, the fluidity, Naruto and Sasuke, Amaterasu, yo, when he threw Amaterasu at Isshiki, oh my god, that shot, when Isshiki is just staring at him as the Amaterasu flames is seemingly burning him, and he's like, oh, these flames, huh, like, this dude is a madman. This episode was hype. Boruto, this shit hit different. Like I said earlier, it hit different, especially on Father's Day, to see the two fathers get their asses kicked. Absolute insanity. But I'm extremely curious what you guys thought of this episode. How did you feel about the battle of Naruto and Sasuke versus Isshiki Otsutsuki, aka Jigen, aka Crybaby, after I whip your ass like, oh, I had to beat your ass. How did you feel about the battle? What did you think about the art and animation? How did you feel about the choreography? How did you feel about it just in general, seeing Naruto and Sasuke take the L at the hands of Jigen? Your thoughts on Sasuke's desperate dash? Did you get emotional when Kawaki's arm holding the portrait dropped onto the ground? Konohamaru getting his bitch ass carried out. How do you feel about that? And your overall thoughts and expectations for the Boruto Naruto Next Generation's anime with episode 205 and beyond. If you haven't been watching Boruto, watch this episode. You might want to stick around at this point because it's up and away, lad. But that's all I have for this one. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram. Hit that bell to get all notifications. And if you want to follow any of my other social media, links of course in the description below. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day. And remember the golden rule: anime and manga for life. Bye. Have an awesome day. Peace in. And yo, shout outs to Boruto Naruto Next Generations. Honestly, like, this episode was beyond a treat. Naruto and Sasuke, some of our faves. Like, there's so much more I could say about this episode, but I'd be talking to you guys all day. This was just really awesome and really appreciated getting something at this level. Shout outs to Puro for actually putting in the work for this one. Have an awesome one.